Well, this is AD and the MC for another week. I'm here with AD, Mark Orville. I'm Shira Taft, and it's a special episode this week because we're talking all things, well, we are two dads. We've got Angry Dad, I'm a new dad, and we're talking about relationships between dads and their family. And so, because of that, we welcome to the studio today Mitchell Orville, son of Angry Dad.
Me.
We've had to put in a little bit of plexiglass between the two of them. They're sitting next to each other, but you know,
don't want things to go pear-shaped?
No, can't go pear-shaped in this studio. But I'll start with you, AD. Obviously, how are you this week?
Good, yeah. Twinged the thigh again yesterday, but other than that, healthy.
Doing what?
Mate. Huh?
Doing what?
Just practicing my golf swing.
Well, we touched on this last week because they got you with a little prank a couple of weeks ago. Someone stole your phone, you got up, you tore your thigh. It's still torn.
Yeah, not going to play this week either, mate. Guarantee. I rang Bucks before. He didn't give a shit anyway, mind you. But
now, Mitchell, we should welcome you in and just say, I guess for those who don't know, you're the driving force with your brother Dylan behind the Angry Dad, I guess, what we call it, the viral videos.
I guess. Used to be anyway.
Good, stop trying to cheer me up.
So, and I mean, you boys are you're doing your banter, which is an app you've got going, a sort of group messaging thing. But I want to start on the Angry Dad stuff because from my understanding, it started a long time ago with Dylan originally pranking your old man just for fun on Snapchat.
Yeah, it was Dylan did a Snapchat. I don't know, I can't really remember what he did, but it was like, I actually reckon the hashtag was Fat Dad and hashtag Angry Dad, or something like that. And then people watched it, and then he went away or something like that, and then I Winklevossed him. Did the old Zuckerberg Winklevoss.
Yeah, but do it better, it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly right. No, then I did that, and then I put it onto my Facebook, and then yeah, it went pretty well. I remember the first one. I called him up and I said, it wasn't even a prank, I was just being a dickhead. I said, what? I said, what? Oh, did you hear about the guy that got hit in the head with a can of soda? He's like, it was a soft drink or something. And you were like, what the fuck, sort of thing. So, and then, even that went well. And then I did one of scaring him, and then I started stepping it up as it went from there.
So to take us back though, like when you were growing up as a kid, like was your old man a lot of fun? Or was he more serious? Or in terms of the reactions, because I think part of the reason people love this is because your old man's reactions are almost unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd say he's almost gotten funner with age. It's a bit like a wine.
That's a compliment, is it?
Yeah, but well, you were just a grumpy prick back when we were kids.
Pressure, mate, stress.
Yeah, but you should have more stress on you now.
Why?
Because you don't have a job.
Yeah, but you shifted out, so my food bill's gone down significantly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have tried this stuff back in the day, I don't reckon.
Okay.
Because it's too much consequences.
Yeah.
Plus I could run and catch him.
Yeah, and
like you could hit harder.
You could send to your room and you couldn't get banned from things, whereas it's like now it's like shit, I'll just go and do whatever.
But you got fond memories of childhood in terms of like, did you guys go on family holidays? Was it, what was the vibe like?
Family holidays were fantastic.
Don't start him on that. Sure, fair dinkum. Don't start him on that.
Well, every family holiday, I'd rather have gone away 30 minutes because if you have to go to the airport, the holiday was ruined before it began.
I get airport fever.
Oh, okay.
Worse than you've ever seen before. He'll tell everyone that they're fuckheads and that he hates them and that they're idiots and that you shouldn't even be going here now. I don't even know why we're going on holidays because you can't even be organised. Stand there, stop shuffling your feet, pick up your lip, move your suitcase.
Terrible, mate, terrible. And you know what they do? They take me off at airports, right? Okay. So they'll actually walk behind me and waddle like this, pulling the suitcase, saying, hurry up, like there's no respect.
So you know you do it, but you can't stop doing
it. I just can't. I'm organised. I hate being late, right? I hate being late. So the bottom line is once we'd get through check-in to the other side, I knew we had our seats and all that, it's fine. But it was the pain in between, especially getting into the car because I said, we're leaving by 6. If it was 2 minutes past 6, the trip to the airport wasn't pleasant.
I've never has been unpleasant even if you're on time.
Yeah, I admit it, mate. I admit it. Terrible.
Well, let's pull this back for a sec, because I'm a new dad. I've got an 18-month-old son. I want to have a really good relationship with my son going forward. And I guess you look at it and go, is it about being, I don't want to be strict, but I also want to have authority. Yeah. But I want to have fun. Like, do you feel like you grew up in that environment? Or?
Yeah. Well, I reckon it's sort of like, you got to know, like they were very strict back in the day. Like, very strict. I had bedtimes until I was 16. You know what I mean? And like, it wasn't, I didn't used to find it bad. It was just what I sort of was used to. I didn't know any different. So, I don't know, I kind of guess once we established those main sort of grounds and ethics and things that, like morals that we got and had just had them, then they kind of let us sort of do and find ourselves more. Whereas
then they got to 18 and they disappeared.
Yeah.
Was that your ethos from the
Oh,
start?
absolutely. You've got to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Dylan had it the worst.
Did he?
Yeah, first kiss.
Dylan's was way worse. I reckon Dylan was in bed after 6:30 Simpsons when he was 17. Serious.
No,
I'm actually serious.
Oh, we look back on as parents because there's no rule book, right? That comes to say.
Guess what our dessert used to be? Frozen peas.
No, it didn't.
It did.
You talk shit.
I swear to God, my dessert was frozen peas.
Yeah, look what it's done to you. You've blown out. Luckily, we think of it. We looked after you. No, Dylan.
I hope they aren't frozen first.
Dylan liked frozen peas. It wasn't your dessert. Dylan used
Yes,
to get
it was.
Dylan
A cup
used to
of
get a cup
frozen
of frozen peas and eat them because he liked them. It's as simple as that.
Liked them frozen or
And
like?
in actual fact, what happened, he stuck one up Mitchell's nose once before we were about to go
It's
on a
not-
holiday, the night before.
I needed to go to 3 different
It was
surgeons.
up here. So took him to this doctor and he had one go at it. So I had to hold Mitchell's head like I should
How
have
old was he?
4, maybe 4, I reckon.
Right.
So I had to hold him like this. I should have choked him a bit harder now, looking back, but hold his head like that. And the surgeon actually got the tweezers ready, like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and just went up in one action, grabbed it and pulled it. Because he said if he pushed it up any further, then he would have to have surgery to pull it out. So, the holiday wasn't interrupted, but Dylan...
So if you had to give me a paddle pop for dessert, that couldn't have happened.
A little bit of ice cream.
there you go, but I would have eaten it first anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So setting those boundaries early is, you reckon,
Critical.
important? Or do you look back and go, I was a bit harsh?
I was too harsh, 100%. But
Yeah.
we got easier with the second kid and the third kid. Well, Hannah probably didn't have any of the disciplines applied
But she
to her.
kind of...
She was
She
smart
followed
anyway.
what we did anyway because she used to see it. She used to go to bed early and always... I don't know.
You've got to be firm but fair, I reckon,
Yeah.
is probably... And we weren't with Dylan. Dylan, it was ridiculous.
Dylan
but
had it
we
tough.
both worked full-time. Sharon was in the police force.
Yep.
Shift work and all this sort of shit. So you're picking up kids at silly hours, whatever. Luckily, she sort of resigned after Mitchell was about 18 months or whatever. She had a bit of time off and then went back and it was just too hard. So she actually was at home with the kids more, which made it a bit easier. So... but yeah, a lot of pressure. But
Dylan was a shit liar too, so he couldn't even get away with much because if he would just not be able to lie with anything.
So do you reckon you perfected that?
I was the king liar.
And you know what? I'm finding all this out now, Shiro. He talks so much shit. I wish half of him stayed in the streets. I don't want to put up with this.
I was the best at it. I could get away with anything.
See?
Still
we
can.
didn't know that. We thought this was this little Mitchell who like butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, and he was clearly a little prick from early on. We just didn't get it. We didn't realise.
But for someone like myself, what would you say to me, right, raising Ed now, how would you go, all right, try to do this or don't do this? Or like, what would be your sort of advice?
Again, I reckon you've got to be cruel to be kind. You actually have to set clear boundaries, especially as a young kid. You've got to trust them and give them a bit of space as well
to learn.
But you've also then got to be smart enough to try and know where you think they might be overstepping it, and it's not easy because again, this little prick was clearly good at hiding.
Yeah, so if they get home from a party and they don't want to talk in the car because they're tired, they're probably drunk.
But were you allowed to go to things, or did you have to sneak out to things?
No, I was always. I never snuck out because. I don't know, I just didn't you couldn't get away with that. I feel like that you can only get away with that in movies. Like, how do you sneak out?
Sorry, I don't mean sneak out, but I more mean like I'm going to a mate's house, but you're actually going to a house.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah.
I'd say stuff like, I'd be like, I'm going to... Because they used to know my friends that I could get away with more and less. So if I knew that I want no questions asked, I'd tell them I'm going to this person's house so they wouldn't think twice. And then I'd be going to another person's house drinking Smirnoffs in their backyard. So.
That's the key though. Know their friends, Shiro. That's the biggest piece of advice. And we encourage people to come to our house. We had a house that was... It sort of lent itself to having people there. There was a pool there at the right age when the kids are growing up. We knew all the kids' friends.
Yeah.
And they're typically the ones that can get them to turn left or turn right. And I can honestly say, I only remember one, I don't remember his name, but I remember Mitchell brought home one kid I didn't like. He was the only one that I sort of pretty much kicked out. I can't remember who it was. You might remember. You probably don't say it. But yeah, there was only one. Other than that, all their friends have been, by and large, really, really good kids. And that, I reckon that sort of helps you with that confidence. But again, they love coming to our house and we love that.
But do you reckon you need to change your parenting style kid to kid? Because Dylan's a different kid to Mitchell, who's a different kid to Hannah.
Yeah, definitely. 100%, yeah. We've really not had to parent Hannah at all. But you know what, amazingly, Dylan and Mitchell were the only kids that went to secondary school, private school education that never had homework. Can you believe that? I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
I would say, no, there's none given.
And guess what their ATAR score was? The same size as their friggin' shoes. That's what it looked like, right? That's how bad they did. But Hannah never had to tell her to do homework once.
And what's she doing now? Working at a fucking pub?
Doesn't matter. She's smarter than you two put together. Clearly. But seriously, never had to tell her once to do anything like that.
So what is your advice for your sons when they, now they're making money at your expense?
Yeah, I know, but you know what? That'll stop soon, hopefully. And then it's about reality checks in the real world, really. So,
for people who don't know, and watching all your videos, there's a lot of comments. Firstly, people think it's fake, which is clearly not, knowing AD, but people can think what they
want, yeah.
Fact of the matter is, as AD and I discussed last episode, you can know something could happen, but there's times when your guard's down, that's when you guys strike.
Yeah, well, we don't, if you followed from the start, we used to do it nearly every day. We'd have a video up every day because it was so easy, but now it's you got to actually plan it, think about it. There's probably more fail than work these days. So.
And there's an elaborate prank where you think about it, organising someone to steal his phone and there's farting in the car.
Yeah, exactly. Which are my favourite ones, but you can't even you can't plan that. It just has to happen.
But so do you, on the outside though, you respect your old man?
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here doing this interview with him.
That's fair. Oh, you know what? Sharon and I talk about it all the time, right? The key... We actually are a pretty social couple, right? Yeah. So we like having a drink, going out for dinner. One of the things that we really like about all our kids and their social group is they're not afraid to have us around. Do you know what I mean? That actually speaks volumes for us in terms of whether it's about staying relevant or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But when your kids make every excuse to not have you around, then you've got some serious issues.
Yep.
It's almost like we actually have to knock some things back because we say, I don't think we should actually go to that. So as parents, that's a tick for us because they still want you around. So they still feel that you're half cool and you know what, you're not going to... You can still have some fun with them, which is good.
But your mates now would want to meet AD anyway just because of the reactions.
Yeah, well, the thing, it's like they see it as just having...
Because they've known me for so long. They've known me for so
long. Everyone enjoys it. It's like I've got certain mates with parents, it's like you can't even swear in front of you.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, no one wants to have them around for a beer because...
Yeah, was that the case? Was that the case growing up, where your friends wanted to be around, come around to your house, and
to a degree, but
we had rules, mate.
Yeah, there was rules.
There was no shenanigans at our house where we actually knew. You know what I mean? We would not condone things that we knew were just totally wrong. As in, they didn't come to our house and drink at 16.
No, no way.
None of that.
I had a house party there once. I remember when Mum and Dad left. They went away and I had a house party. Oh, it wasn't even a house party. It was about 15 people or something like that. Gathering. Gather. And I remember Mum goes, did you have people over on the weekend? And I was like, how the hell does she know? And I was like, nah, there's no way she could know. And I was like, clean the house, everything like that. And I was like, fuck, I'm just going to say it. Yeah. Why? How'd you know? And she goes, because the house was cleaner than when I got back. From then when I left. So I cleaned it too much. It was obvious that something had happened because it was so clean. It was spotless. Why would I just clean the house? And I thought about it. I was like, what the hell? Why would I, when they go away, just make the house spotless randomly?
Do you know what else?
It's dumb.
How dumb he is. I think this is when Facebook almost started. We went away somewhere. Anyway, Sharon got a tip off.
No, this was the day that... Oh, excuse me. They went to America. The day of they went to America.
What he did? Our old house. He was nude on the roof.
Yes.
Filmed it.
Of course he was.
Jumped off the roof into the pool, which was a decent jump because you had to jump a fair way out first, right? Yeah. Bang. Anyway, someone saw it.
I made it my Facebook profile picture.
And then
my nana saw it.
He took it down straight away.
Your nana saw it.
Yeah, my nana dogged on me.
Stupid. Just dumb, stupid shit.
And what about friendships between parents and kids? Because there's got to be, you talked before about discipline and rules, and you've got to have an element of a friendship.
Yeah.
But then it can go too far when you see someone going out for a beer with their kid.
That's where I sort of feel like funny at times, where I'm seen out with the boys having beers, and I'm sure people look at that and say, "You're 50, mate. What are you doing out with the boys?" But they invite. I wouldn't just force myself on them, right? They invite me. And I go. I don't go all the time, but I like their mates, and we just have a few beers and have a laugh and all that.
It's not like you get annoyed if you don't get invited. So it's like if you come, you're there. If you're not, it's not like you're sitting at home and where's my invite.
Nah, it's a fine line though, sure. It really is about picking the right times to do things. Again, we have our absolute full-on, you know,
Barneys.
but
Most of them
100%,
are films.
absolutely. No, we do. We genuinely do about different shit. But we pretty much get over it pretty quickly, which I think is about mutual respect. I'd like to think that. You know, one thing in our house, and anyone that knows us or anyone that comes to our house, and this is driven more so by me than Sharon, because Sharon's actually got a cool head and she could actually hold things and maybe deal with them later. I deal with things then and there on the spot, and we've never ever hidden our kids from... I'm not saying I'm proud of this in all cases, but we've never hidden things from kids because we're like any married couple. We fight like shit all the time, right? That's just normal, whatever. And, you know, some people go behind closed door and fight, and then their kids think everything's rosy. They've had some real life lessons just from experiencing living at our house because I'm a hothead.
And how does it? Was there much of Sharon would let you do something but he wouldn't?
Yeah, Mum would.
Oh, she was a soft touch, 100%.
So how do you balance that? Because I reckon it's going to be the same with me. My wife's a lot softer than I. Like even now, Ed gets away with stuff with her.
It kind of works, I reckon. You need one, good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, there's never been...
Because then you've got someone to confide to as well. So it's like, if I do something wrong, I'd never tell Dad. And then if Mum was a hothead child, I'd never tell Mum. No one would ever know, whereas I'd tell Mum. And so it's like at least one parent knows then, and then that parent knows how to tell the other parent.
What about when you're asking for like, can I go to a party? Sharon says yes, he goes no.
I very rarely said no.
Yeah, that was like...
Very rarely said no. And I think that's because I knew, like, we knew all their friends, right? No, that's not to say we knew everything that happened wherever they went somewhere, because clearly he's saying he told us he was going here and he'd go there, whatever. But by and large, right, we knew pretty much what was going on. So we didn't stop him from doing a lot of things. When we reckon we knew we had pretty much the ground rules pretty right.
So from your point of view, like, you know, I've just had a kid, I'm 18 months, I'm a generation above.
You're 18 months?
Yeah, well, not quite yet.
You speak well for an 18-month guy.
What's your approach to, like, how do you see yourself being a parent? Do you see yourself emulating?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. One thing I won't be is the same way that he was with sport.
Yep.
That I will not.
Which was?
Overboard.
Well, overboard.
That's how over the board you were.
He was bored with your...
I remember, pretty much
was he on the boundary line yelling
screaming.
Mitchell. I would yell out, on the move is about the only thing I can say.
Or hit it, and then I'll break my back, and then you make me play.
I didn't know your back was broken.
I literally broke 2 vertebrae in my spine, and I come off, and I was like, couldn't even walk, and he comes into the change rooms, looks at me and goes... So I got back out, and I was out there for like, what, 2 minutes, the ball come over, I couldn't even bend down and pick it up, and I just yelled, get him off! Then I got in the car, then I went home, and then the next day I went to go to the toilet, and I took a piss, and I was pissing blood. And I was like, I'm pissing blood, and then he's like, fine, we'll take you to the hospital. I got an x-ray, and I had a fractured L1 and L2 in my vertebrae.
Feel bad about that?
Not really, because you've got an extra two stats. No, I don't. No, I did. Of course I did. Yeah. Of course I did. One thing, Mitch was pretty tough in terms of the footy, even when he was younger, etc. So, I don't know, it's teaching them pain barriers and tolerances. I just read that one wrong, that's all.
Yeah. No, but so what you're saying is you'd be a bit more, do what your passion is, enjoy it.
Well, I just won't care, like... I'll just let them, if they want to play well or play hard or play whatever the fuck they want to play.
But the trip home in the car...
I used to dread getting in the car if I played shit.
Really?
It was like, I never wanted to play AFL or anything, I didn't care.
It wasn't a pleasant trip home. So they're the things you look back on and you go, yeah, could have probably done that differently.
Yeah, okay.
High expectations, mate. I'm trying to, I don't know, push them to a whole new...
Discipline? Do you reckon you'll be fun or do you reckon you'll be disciplined?
I don't know. I reckon I'll be like, sort of like, sit back and just like...
No, because anything that involves proactivity means you've got to work and get up off the couch. So he's not going to do that. And he's going to have a kid that'll sleep until 11 o'clock every morning.
Why wouldn't you want that?
With his sleep patterns.
Why wouldn't you want that?
So let's quickly touch on the Angry Dad stuff, because we talked about the start of the show, and this thing's gone bananas. You've got over 1 million subscribers on Facebook, and the videos are viewed hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times each time. For you, firstly, what was your first feeling when you were like, hang on a sec, this is at my expense?
It was, well, the whole thing was, it wasn't a lot different to what they were doing anyway, except they were filming it.
But you didn't have Facebook when we first started, did you?
But that's right. No, I didn't.
You
I was
didn't?
on Facebook.
So you-
I remember seeing a note.
Yeah,
from
I know, but
Mitchell goes to someone, Dad and Mum have joined Facebook. Friggin' hell, now they've stuffed the whole thing up.
Yeah, I mean, he
didn't have
wasn't
Facebook.
actually on Facebook when it started, which is
Right.
funny to think about now because
So
I
you
don't
get
know.
away with it. So people were saying he didn't know.
he knew that it was going up, but I don't think he knew to the degree of what it was going up
Yeah, I
and
thought
how.
it was fa-
Facebook,
I
you know, you
remember-
think that your friends see it. If you're not on Facebook, you think, oh, your Facebook friends. So he's probably thinking like my mates from school are seeing it, and you know, you don't know that it's going the way
I
it
didn't
did.
think too much, to be honest, because it was like I thought it was just a little fad thing. They'd do it 1 or 2, 3 times and it'd stop and die, whatever. And then I remember Mitchell saying something like, shit, it's had 2,000 likes on the page. And I probably didn't even really understand what that meant. And then it just
And it went
snowballed
to
from there.
50,000 overnight.
Yeah, when was the moment you realised this is something?
Well, we
pretty
went to
bloody
bed at about 5,000 likes
good?
on
Which
the
video
page.
is this? Oh, this is on the page.
On the page,
Yeah.
and then we woke up and the page had 50,000 likes. So it went up about 45,000 people overnight. And then from
Well,
there it
it's
went
gone
up 100, then to 250, then...
And does it amaze you? I remember watching before I knew you guys. I remember watching him, and then what like sticks in my mind. I watched it on repeat. Was the sign on the back of the car?
Yeah,
It's
that
just
was
get-
the...
I mean,
that had over probably... But on Uni Lad Bible, all platforms across it probably had around 100 million views.
yeah, which is incredible. And you're just getting. I mean, what does this bloke want?
I don't actually, I don't travel well in the car when I'm...
No, well, it's like the airport, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, well...
So it's like I was getting abused from all angles, and I'm thinking, hang on, like we were in a hurry because we're going to a meeting, so I was sort of probably, focused on getting to the
Yeah,
destination,
yeah.
but I didn't think I'd abused or cut off that many people.
What I was going to say to that is what comes from these videos. You must be surprised. It's not just the laughter and the enjoyment people get, because you get hit up all the time. You might as well by people who are actually affected or who see something in it beyond just the stupidity of making.
Oh,
fun
they
of
do,
you,
and
I mean.
it sort of is all underpinned by that laughter's the best medicine. And the connections I have with people are about that, saying I've had a shit day, I've got a shit life, and this, that, and the other. Thanks for the laugh. So what do? Like, at my expense, people are actually getting some fun and enjoyment out of it. So I just have to suck it up, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people under a lot of pressure that are feeling shit, and if you can in any small way make them feel better and happy, then I suppose it's giving back a bit.
You'd had a few of those experiences.
Yeah, I get a few messages about that sort of stuff, especially just from people that are like, I know, because there's some people that say like go the opposite. They're back, I don't have a dad. You don't understand what you would like. If I would do anything to be able to spend time again and not treat them like, and then it's like then you just see like the people that are like, I've lost my dad, and it's like this just makes me laugh so much.
Yeah.
It's so good to see people. It's like I hate when people take that approach. It's like I was in the supermarket one day and this lady came up to me with a kid and she goes, "Oh, we know who you are," and then pointing to her kid and she's like, "Who's that?" And then he's like, "Oh, that's Mitchell." And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "You're a little shit, aren't you?" I go, "Why?" She goes, "Oh, what you do to your dad." I said, "Well, you're not too good of a fucking parent if you're letting your 8-year-old watch your videos either." But she was actually having a dig.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You can't please everyone. That's the
You
fact.
can't. No, you
can't.
can't.
Yeah, that's why I literally stopped. I haven't read a comment on a Facebook or YouTube comment on a video for probably 6 months.
Yeah.
Not one. I just don't care anymore.
Because you're going to get.
Because
both
you
sides.
read into it, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, you can read 10 good, but you read one bad, you can just be like. So I literally just don't read it anymore, and it does not bother me.
So from a parenting point of view now, do you look at it, are you proud of what the boys have actually, because genuine on the outside, that's a big achievement.
Oh
to do.
yeah, look, they're smart kids. They are, and they complement one another.
Yeah.
Right, Mitchell's the ugly prick. Dylan's good looking. Like Mitchell's creative. Dylan's got more of a business brain, etc. They complement each other. And look, I hope in terms of a success story and that banter, which is what they've invested in and what they're sort of focusing on now, validates it all at some point. It may not. Who knows? Time will tell. They're good kids. They're clever kids. They're just pricks, and we have our moments. Don't worry, mate. Like we have some serious dust ups and that, but you move on.
Is it the sort of thing later in life? Late in life, when he's on the back end of his life, you'll have a few laughs about the stuff you've gone through.
Those videos, imagine showing like grandkids those videos of like, I've still got one of my Upa that's like my favourite video ever.
Of him?
It's hilarious, of my Upa.
Of your grandfather?
Telephone?
This is Dad's dad.
Is this the phone?
So what happened was, this is Dad being, exactly, you'll see where we get it from in this. So my Upa's trying to do his voicemail.
The telephone.
So he's trying to record it. So he's trying to say hello and do his thing. And
am.
Dad's in the background going...
Hold it up to your mic. So
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so Dad, this is Port Ferry at their house. Dad was a new telephone answering machine. Dad was trying to set it up, and I was actually in bed, and I was just pissing him off. Every time he'd think he got it right, I'd yell out and scream in the background.
I'll get it
and
out.
Dad's Dutch, frustrated as shit, right?
And you'll hear how he reacts. It's
like, he had zero tolerance. Like, mind you, Dad hated all this shit.
Right.
Because he just said, nah, you can't go doing that to anyone.
Disrespectful?
That's your dad, respect him.
Right.
But then they just stir it up anyway, and it's just funny.
So it runs in the family a bit, this kind of...
Oh, look, I think I've said to you, sure, Sharon's mum's got no sympathy at all, because I'd sort of
Here
used
we
to
go.
do it to Sharon's dad.
Answering system is on. Answering system is on. Hello, you have reached Lynn and John. We can't come to the phone at the moment. Oh, fuck off.
Ready?
Fuck me now, I don't know how to do it.
And that was his voicemail for like the week. Yeah, because that's the same.
He didn't know how to change it.
So I had like my brother, I was telling everyone to ring their house and just listen to his voicemail, and they'd answer the business and say, hello, you have reached Lynn and John.
That was my dad. I can only imagine what... Christmas, is it like your family catch-ups? Is there a lot
Yeah,
of
they're
this
pretty
sort of
good.
stuff?
Fantastic, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Look, people actually ask if they can come at Christmas. That's fair income.
Genuinely.
And it's changed a little bit now because Mitchell and Chloe are together and they've got their own families, and Dylan's got a partner and families. So it'll sort of dissipate a bit more now, but historically up till now, our Christmas and family get-togethers are like
Pretty funny.
good fun, mate. Good fun.
All right, just to sum up this, let's just sum this up. As a dad, what are your key points for raising a kid, boy or girl, really, that you get along with later in life?
Oh, I think, again, I could summarise it in a few words. I think you've got to actually be firm but fair.
Yep.
And you have to be cruel to be kind at different times. That's just life.
Yep.
That's applicable workforce the whole lot. I think you've got to stay relevant and trust your kids. Probably have a good cop, bad cop, someone they can confide in, because you want your kids telling someone if there's issues, that you might not know about. I don't know. I reckon you've got to be real. In your family life, you've got to be real, because what's the point of having your kids think that everything's rosy and they go out and start their own life with a partner and all that, and they go, well, that's not what our house used to be like. You know what? So let them cut their teeth as early. They'll actually form an opinion on whether, what you do is entirely right or partially right or whatever, and then, that sets them up for their own journey.
The world's different now. Like, the world's different now to when you were raising Mitch and Dylan.
Yeah, it is.
Social media and all the scary...
That's one thing I will not want, is like kids and iPads and all that. I reckon that's the most... Like, the one thing I am so glad about is like childhood in a court, games, kicking the footy, cricket, outdoor hide and seek, 40-40. Like, we had a court where everyone's doors were open. You could literally, we'd go you just walk into anyone's house.
Yeah.
Like, and it was kids and you're playing. Now it's like, I reckon kids don't do that.
Well, they don't. I said to Shira last week, how often do you see kids out riding a bike? You don't. So we were lucky.
I reckon that sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
I reckon that's going to be really shit for them.
Well, that's about parents actually instilling new rules back into the kids and banning phones, right? Not giving them to them until a certain age, and then banning them, locking away, go and kick the footy.
It's up to our generation,
It is,
yours,
it is.
and the
You've
next
got to change it.
to change that mindset.
100%. And I reckon that's going to be like a massive... What you'll see is, I reckon kids will be so much more introverted.
Well, we're seeing that now, and their brains are just like information overload with shit that they get off the internet and off their phones.
It's changed our brains though.
It is, 100%.
You can't sit in a room anymore with nothing going on. You can't go to the toilet without like
Yeah, you've been on your phone.
Stimulated. When someone leaves the table, what do you do? What's the first thing you do?
Get on your phone.
And yet yesterday I played golf, didn't have my phone because it was home backing up.
You play golf again?
Didn't miss it. Didn't miss the phone one bit.
Must
Get
be
home, mind you, I
stressful.
got home, there's a shitload of it. My poor mum had written the car off.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that's another story.
Must be very stressful. life, just
No, but
golf
see, there
every
you go.
day.
Dylan was playing with his mate Jakey Carlisle and Jake's mate, and so they needed a 4. It's nice. He rings me and asks me if I want to play.
good.
Like, you can easily find other mates.
I
to
didn't
play.
get the fucking call up,
Have
so
you seen him play golf?
No, I haven't seen it.
He's as shit as golf as he is as a bloke.
well, you never have to see me play because I sold my clubs.
Well, either way, hey, thanks for coming in and coming on the show, Mitchell, and thanks for trying to like not instill a bit of, I guess, furor between the two of you.
Yeah.
It's
He
been
knows
pretty
you can. He
good.
knows you can fight.
Oh, mate, you want to fight me. But, mate, thank you very much and good luck with the banter stuff as well.
No
and
worries.
also, obviously, Angry Dad. Now, guys, if you want to get in touch with us, contact at angrydad.com.au is where you can get it, or hit us up at ad&themc on our Instagram. We know our individual ones as well. Mark, you were quite measured today.
Yeah, well, I've got you adjudicating that. So he went easy on me, actually. I thought he'd go harder in terms of the whole parenting thing, but
Contact.
I taught him well.
Wait, contact as well if you want. You can get to Dad on 041.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
Well, Mitchell's is. Oh, you're a prick,
I almost
Mitchell.
fell off this.